In a valley hidden between blue mountains, there lay a sparkling lake where a turtle named Tila lived a comfortable life among the reeds and the lilies. Tila was a kind soul, but she had one great weakness. She loved the sound of her own voice so much that she would talk from the moment the sun rose until the stars appeared. One summer, two migratory swans named Hamsa and Baku landed on the lake, and Tila immediately rushed over to greet them with a never-ending stream of questions. The swans were fascinated by the turtle's stories, and over many weeks, the three became the closest of friends, sharing secrets of the sky and the water. As the hot season intensified, the lake began to shrink into a small puddle, and the swans realized they would soon have to fly to a distant, deeper lake to survive. With heavy hearts, Hamsa and Baku told Tila they had to leave, but the turtle wept, for she knew she could not fly and would be left behind in the drought. Seeing their friends despair, the swans devised a clever plan. They would hold the ends of a sturdy stick in their beaks while Tila bit down on the middle. "There is one condition," the swans warned sternly. "Once we are in the air, you must not utter a single word, or you will lose your grip and fall to the earth below." Tila promised with all her heart to remain silent, biting down hard on the wood, determined to prove that she could control her tongue for the sake of her life. With a powerful beat of their wings, the swans rose into the air, carrying the turtle higher and higher until the entire world looked like a beautiful tiny map. As they soared over a busy village, the people looked up in amazement, shouting and pointing at the incredible sight of birds carrying a turtle through the clouds. The villagers began to mock the turtle, laughing at how ridiculous she looked, and Tila felt a hot surge of anger bubbling up inside her at their teasing words. She wanted to tell them how smart she was and how foolish they were, but the memory of her promise felt like a heavy weight against her teeth. Finally, her pride overcame her wisdom, and she could no longer bear the thought of the villagers having the last word in this silent argument. "You fools!" she tried to shout, but the moment her jaws opened to release the words, she lost her hold on the stick and began to plummet toward the ground. In a terrifying blur of wind and sky, Tila realized too late that her idle chatter had cost her the very safety she had worked so hard to achieve. She crashed into a heap of straw, bruised and broken, watching as her only chance for a better life disappeared into the horizon without her. As she sat in the dust of the village, Tila finally understood that a loose tongue is a dangerous weapon that often wounds the speaker most of all. A wise man passing by whispered that many a person has fallen from great heights not because of their enemies, but because they could not master their own speech. Tila began the long journey of learning that silence is not emptiness, but a deep well of strength that keeps us safe from the storms of the world. She realized that words are like seeds. Once they are thrown into the wind, we can never take them back, and we must live with the harvests they bring. By choosing to listen instead of talk, she discovered a whole world of wisdom that she had been too noisy to hear before. With time, Tila recovered her strength, but she carried the scar on her shell as a sacred reminder of the day she fell for the sake of a few empty words. She became a leader among her kind, not by shouting orders, but by the quiet power of her example and the peace that now radiated from her soul. When the seasons changed and her friends returned, they were amazed to find a turtle who spoke with her heart in her eyes, rather than just her mouth. They sat together in the moonlight, proving that the deepest friendships are those that can share a beautiful silence without any need for chatter. Tila looked at the world of noise and felt a deep gratitude for the lesson that had taught her how to be still in a world that never stops talking. She spent the rest of her days as a guardian of the quiet places, teaching others that the tongue is a small part of the body but it can boast of great things and cause great falls. A mind that is silent is like a lake without ripples, capable of reflecting the truth of the heavens without any distortion. Tila the turtle lived a long and peaceful life, finally understanding that her shell was not just a home for her body, but a sanctuary for her silence. This story reminds us that self-control is the greatest strength, and that knowing when to stay silent is often the only thing that keeps us from falling. If Tila's journey has taught you the value of silence, subscribe to our channel for more wisdom, and share this lesson with someone who needs to find their own inner peace.